How are we to handle scandal that comes to evangelical celebrities? Well, there are some, and probably more than I know of, who think I'm the last person who should be answering that question. Not that I ever had much celebrity, and what celebrity I had was inherited and not earned. I certainly had scandal. And therefore, the reasoning goes, anything that I say is necessarily self-serving. Well, maybe so. I don't think so. I think what I'm giving you is sound and biblical, because here's what I want you to do. When you have an evangelical who is caught up in some sort of grievous sin, do nothing. If you must do something, pray for that person. Pray for those his accusers. Pray for those in authority over them. And pray for yourself. There's this mindset out there that seems to suggest that if I listen to so-and-so's podcast regularly, or if I've read a couple of books by this fellow, or I've heard this guy speak at a conference, that now I'm a stockholder, not only in this person's ministry, but in their spiritual life. And that I'm owed regular updates about what's going on with their life. But God didn't establish us as an accountability group for the people that we listen to. God's established local churches. God's established presbyteries. In some cases, God's established civil government. But not discernment bloggers, and not me. I thought of this in light of Ravi's scandal. As I was preparing to pray, I thought it's important for me to remember to not only pray for Ravi's family as they go through this difficult time, but to pray for Ravi's victims, to pray for those who are having to deal with all of this stuff. But it was when I thought about the victims that I thought, what a shame for all those. I mean, it's true that not enough of us think to pray for the victims. But even those of us that do, how many of us think to pray for the victims of people who do the exact same sins that aren't in our camp? I venture to guess that for every 10 people who have prayed for Ravi's victims, only one of them prayed for Harvey Weinstein's victims, at best. Harvey Weinstein's a celebrity, but not an evangelical one. And so somehow that means we don't need to care about his victims. There are also victims of people who do the same kinds of sins who aren't celebrities at all. Let's pray for them too. At the end of the day, friends, while the celebrity may have contributed to the atmosphere that allowed the sins to happen or the cover-up to happen, at the end of the day, the celebrity is wildly beside the point. What is needed doesn't change because someone's a celebrity. Part of my experience has been this, that people who knew of me before my OWI, they feel like because they knew me, they're owed their own personal apology, complete with all the sorrow and all the tears that I went through more than 4 years ago. It was a terrible, terrible sin, shameful, that Jesus died for, that I don't carry around anymore. He's forgotten about it, so have I. And I'm sorry, I can't go back and relive my sorrow because it's behind me. So, my advice, twofold. You don't need to get involved in any celebrity scandal. And two, pray for yourself. lest you likewise fall.